Good afternoon, speed friends. Welcome back. I bet you thought we had forgotten. How could we? This is the Metroid Fusion 100% tournament, and today, we've got a race today. We've got Reseren versus Destructor, and let me tell you why this is a race. These two are not just adjacent positions on the leaderboard. No. They got PBs 4 seconds apart. These two are real even. And they're both really, really good at what they do. So if y'all came in here expecting an excellent race, I'm afraid to say you're going to be underwhelmed by this one. Oh, buddy, are you going to be underwhelmed? Wait, did I say underwhelmed? Oh, my point is, you're going to get a lot more than you bargained for. I'm really good at words, especially when I haven't finished my first cup of coffee of the day. Oh, God, that's delicious. Ah! So, anyways, words are exceedingly important. I usually just kind of open my mouth and they come out. Which is probably not the best way to go through life. It has gotten me in trouble. But you know what? Sometimes you let the excitement do the talking and things happen. But that's okay. We're all on this wild Metroid Fusion roller coaster together, friends, and it's gonna be a good ride. And without any further ado, they are off. Starting out, both of them having agreed to use the JP version, saving several minutes over the English version, which is the tourney standard. Right from the get-go, both of them starting off with the climb. Let's see if I think they're probably going to both do classic climb here. Yes, they are. And, ooh, real smooth. So far, so good. That's actually one of the hardest bits of movement in the entire run. It's right there at the beginning. You'd be surprised how many runs die in that third room. But anyways, Metroid Fusion is a long, linear Metroid with a whole lot of words, which means y'all get to suffer. Enjoy the lore. Ooh, Reseren having a little bit of trouble with that quick little hop there. Losing several precious seconds, which Destructor uses to get into the quarantine bay faster and deal with that horror node. No, really, that's what they're called. And it's very, very important to be good at all of the things that Samus can do in this game, because since it is a linear Metroid game, you gotta make the most of your movement. Gotta know when to jump, when to run, when to roll, when to morph and unmorph, when to ledge grab, when to wall jump. Every little difference adds up over the course of this run, which is not a short run. In fact, we're going to see some absolutely swag movement right here. Look at this. Oh, Destructor going for the slightly more complex strat. They're going for the extra wall jump. Reseren going for the classic just ledge grab there. And we're also going to see Reseren go for some of the slightly new real-time strats. This game did in fact undergo a change to real-time leaderboards last year, and since then there have been some changes, some extra additions in order to save real-time, because the in-game timer does not run during door transitions. But you might notice sometimes the screen has to adjust vertically before it scrolls. Well, Reseren jumping through the door fixes that. So you're going to see him do that quite a bit. He's been quite the front runner in developing these door alignment strats to save many, many seconds over the course of the run. So it's actually kind of funny how the things that don't actually advance the in-game timer make a world of difference in races and in RTA. Text mashing, screen transitions, just those little things that didn't used to matter now make a world of difference. And here we are, making visit the first data room. Destructor in the lead, getting the missiles, but Reseren not far behind, only a few seconds. And we still haven't encountered the true final boss of Metroid Fusion, randomness, because as much as we love this game is dripping with things beyond our control. Everything from boss doors to, well, some bosses to enemy placements. Pardon me. We're just making sure everything is exactly the way you want to hear it out there, friends. So we appreciate your patience greatly. But here we are, going through the air ducts. I don't know about you, but the air ducts in my house are nowhere near this big. I can't even crawl through them, much less somersault through them. Either Samus is a lot smaller than we thought, or in the future, everything is just kind of weird. Thankfully, the game is gracious enough to give us these 2 missile tanks. We're going to need them. Starting up with this door, the randomness has arrived. The door can give you 4 beams before it shows you its weak spot. Reseren! Getting immediate eye door, but then getting beams. He does get the double, though. Looks like Destructor got it as well, but Reseren now pulling into the lead with the better eye beams. That's what I'm talking about, folks. Just the game itself can cause a turnaround, especially when you have 2 runners that are playing this close to each other in skill level. And here's the first major detour from any percent, stopping to get this E-Tank right here. Unfortunately, it cost them a missile, and missiles are pretty tight for Arachnus here. Let's see how it goes for them. Arachnus can give them rolls. They're ideally going to get no rolls. Destructor getting a roll, but so does Reseren. Opting not to try to go through. Oh my god! Both of them getting onto the cord. Reseren gets the first double. Destructor going to set up for the second double. Oh no! Destructor has the X coming in a little bit too low and does not get the double, allowing Reseren to maintain his lead here, but Destructor only a few seconds behind. This race is far from over, but it's already switched leads. More than once. Oh my god. This is the kind of stuff I love in these tournaments. Oh! Destructor having a little bit of struggle with that move there. Getting 2 shots into that little shaft is a little bit trickier than you might think, actually. But with that, we are done with the main deck, going to be on our way to the sectors. There we go, Destructor. Oh, looks like Destructor has also been learning some of those RTA strats. Looks like Reseren is not going to have an edge in that particular department here today. But that music can only mean one thing. It's time for Sector 1. But first, we're going to stop and grab this missile tank. This is one of the ones they can grab really whenever they want, but there's no reason not to grab it right now. It makes Sector 1 a lot less painful, and you have to worry a little bit less about running out of missiles, because missiles are of utmost importance, especially this early on when your counts are tighter. Yeah, by the end of the game, you can basically wallpaper your house with missiles. Don't even worry about it, but... Oh no, Reseren having a little bit of an elevator struggle, and Destructor... Oh, I was hoping Destructor was going to open the door. Because we have the rudest house guest right here, the SAX. I'm pretty sure the game intends that to stand for Samus Aran X, because they tack X onto everything that the X parasites clone. But I have more fun thinking about it as this is basically what happens in the future if you force a saxophone to evolve. It turns into a mindless, heartless killing machine. Also, I would like everyone to listen to these elevators. They are the saddest sounding elevators in any Metroid game. If you can find a sadder sounding elevator, please let me know. I would genuinely love to find it. But here we go, Sector 1. The fact that it's the first sector we visit is probably just happenstance. I try not to think too hard about it, and neither should you. But one thing you do need to worry about is that someone has touched the thermostat. Dads everywhere right now are writhing in their seats, and they don't know why. It's because someone touched the thermostat in Sector 1, and we have to fix it. Unfortunately, in the future, everything is more complicated. We can't just touch the thermostat again. We have to go to 5 different HVAC units and blast them with missiles to clean the whatever it is that the X-parasites do to them. Look right there. There's 5 of them throughout the sector. 3 missiles will do the job. We can't use beams. Missiles are critical here. Like I said, you gotta manage those missiles. You can't let them drop too low, and that's also why both of them are going to be trying to keep their health at full. Keeping health at full guarantees you those precious green X drops. Oh no! Destructor taking a hit. Thankfully, the E-Tank will get him back up to full. And can he get out of this room? Yes, he can. Reseren down 10 energy. We're already seeing him get some yellow drops mixed in with the greens. And he's down, looks like 2 missiles from Destructor. Hopefully this is not going to come back and bite him, but missile count can get tight in Sector 1 if you're not careful. both of them morphing and unmorphing to make sure to get the momentum to avoid running into those pirates. Those pirates do hurt. Ooh, Reseren right now down to 8 missiles, Destructor at 21. Trying to farm for extra green drops, but Rez not getting them. Destructor is essentially already set for the rest of the sector. He's got no trouble with missiles whatsoever, but Rez is probably going to have to rely on a lucky green drop during the vertical climb in the next room. There's a bunch of pirates he has to get past, and they each drop 2 X's. Not guaranteed to be greens, but oh! For a moment there I thought Destructor had missed one of his missiles, but he did not. Here we go. Rez getting the double green, getting 2 double greens, getting so much green you might think this is a treasury building. It is not. It is in fact Metroid Fusion. In the question of the day, in the future, do you think money is still green? Actually, wait, now that I think about it, that's very pure. Actually, wait, money isn't even green anymore. I was about to say that's purely an American dollar thing, but then I remembered, wait, American dollar bills don't look green anymore. They're different colors. So you know what? We're going to take that question today and put it over here in the rubbish bin where it belongs, and I'll come up with a better one later. Oh my god, that luck! Both of them! Getting the double missile, getting the 0 beams! They are sticking close to each other. Let's see what happens here. Oh no! Reseren sets up for the vertical double, doesn't quite get it. Destructor for the horizontal and doesn't quite get it. Reseren's trying to set up for the classic strat here while Destructor is trying to just keep going with his strat, but is having trouble! Ooh, both of them having a struggle with the charge core, but thankfully, in spite of the troubles, making it through. Actually, probably maintaining about the similar gap as before. They are staying really neck to neck here. But the most important thing is they now have the charge beam, which is, throughout the course of this run, going to be one of the most useful tools that they have. It doesn't just increase the damage of the beam, it doesn't just give you pseudo screw attack, it does so much more. It turns your beam from 1 little pellet into 2 pellets and an arm flare if you get your full charge shot, and the flare does damage as well, so if they are willing to get right up in an enemy's face, let them know what they think, right up close and personal, they are doing a lot more damage. And you're going to be seeing them take full advantage of that throughout the course of the run, particularly in the next couple of sectors. But with that, they're both done fixing the thermostat here in Sector 1. The temperature is back to normal. Everything is a nice, balmy 72 degrees. At least that's what I'm assuming it is, because that's... I don't know, I actually like a little bit colder myself. But now on their way out of Sector 1, back to the navigation room. Looks like Reseren is going to make it there first, being one room ahead of Destructor. And they'll be on their way to Sector 2. Don't worry, this very easy to remember numbering system where you go through the sectors in order, that stops being the case pretty much immediately. Don't worry. Don't worry. Man, this is really good coffee. Alright, back onto the SAT elevators, directly into a cutscene. Samus is thinking about something. I think she's thinking about, I can't remember what this one's about. You know, I'm going to assume she's thinking about why is this elevator shaft so long? That's gotta be it. Doesn't look that long on the map, but here we are, taking forever. Alright, into Sector 2. If Sector 1 was the SR-388 sector, this is the Tropical sector. At least that's what I'm pretty sure TRO stands for. But unlike Sector 1, where missiles are the thing you gotta worry about your health in this sector. In Sector 2 is chock full of wildlife that looks really bright, colorful, and fun to hug. Please do not hug the wildlife. It does, in fact, not hug back. The Zoros, the red sluggy boys that you will see scattered about Sector 2, they love being in your way, and they hurt like hell if you touch them. So please do not touch them. That's what's going to be Reseren and Destructor's major thing in Sector 2 is do not run into the Zoros. But the problem is they're going to be right along the way, so they're going to have to kill them as they go, but only the ones that are immediately in their way, because they also like to reform further along if you kill too many of them. So far, so good. And Rez gets the good positioning there. Destructor has to kill that one, but manages to get past no problem. 2 on the floor in this room here. charge shot double missiles, no trouble from Destructor or Reseren there. Oh, Res getting the upward moving one in this room. Destructor getting the advantageous downward moving Zoro. Oh, accidentally kicking the other one. Gained a fraction of a second there, but lost it to the getting knocked back. But still, both of them on the same text box. The gap is still so close. Nas have to make their ways back through the big room, head off to the data room to pick up the next major upgrade, if you can really call it that. In this game, bombs are there for breaking blocks and not much else. You don't get to do any cool bomb jumping in this game, aside from perhaps one spot. Later on in Sector 6, there is one spot where they might do a fancy bomb jump, but it's very difficult to do, and I don't know. Can't remember off the top of my head if either of them go for that strat. We'll see. Get a load of that bomb. Did you see how long that took to explode? Did you see that? I could have baked a souffle in the amount of time it took for that bomb to explode. Not that I would actually try baking a souffle. It's too loud around here. It would probably cause a souffle to go... Alright, another little detour up here, going up here to get this missile tank. We already know where the next boss is. It's not very far, but there's a few things we gotta grab along the way. This is, after all, 100%. And you may have seen that there are some things in Sector 1 they didn't take a detour to grab. We will be grabbing those later on during cleanup. But these things in Sector 2 here are more convenient to grab now. Considering how linear this game is, we have very carefully routed out whether or not it is the best to grab these items during the main chunk of the game or during cleanup. This is all very carefully calculated and routed out. Alright, now both of them are going to have to drop down and grab another tank here, but they have to watch out for the blue Zoro. Oh! Ooh, Reseren landing right on the blue Zoro. Look at how much damage it does. Over 100 on contact. This early on, when Fusion Suit is the only thing you've got to be careful. Because even 100%, you only have 3 E-tanks right now, and there are multiple enemies that'll do over 100 damage. You've got to be careful. It is still very, very easy to die if you start getting knocked around a lot, especially here in Sector 2. And looks like, on just cleanliness of movement and just all sorts of things, Destructor has managed to pull ahead again. Like I said, movement is what makes or breaks your run when you play Metroid Fusion. But they cannot rest yet. After this E-Tank comes the next eye-door. Let's see how the luck goes. Thankfully now with the charge beam, they don't have to worry about the multiple shots. Oh, Destructor getting 0 beams, Reseren getting 1. Losing just a few seconds there, not much he can do. Speaking of losing seconds, it's time for your friend Zazabi. By friend, I mean not friend. Zazabi likes to jump around. Jump up, and get down. More like we wish it would get down. There we go. Reseren getting the slightly better luck there, already catching up just on number of jumps. That's what I'm talking about. You can get anywhere between 3 and 12 extra jumps, and oh my god! Destructor's luck is so bad right now. Reseren pulling ahead just on jumps. Oh god! Oh, it's painful! And just like that, Reseren's already on the... Oh, wait, no, hang on a second. The jumps have equalized. Now Destructor's in the lead again. What in the world is even going on here? Setting up for double-doubles. This is a 4-missile core. Both of them getting double-double. Destructor getting the sweet spot. Now pulling back in the lead again by the slimmest of margins. Oh my god. Now I'm genuinely curious to see what happens here. We are coming up on Sack's skip. In 100%, it's not super duper risky like it is in any percent, but failure does mean you just die. So I'll be curious to see if they both opt to go for it. I expect they actually will, but it's definitely risky if you fail it. So let's see, Destructor, his setup looks good. Oh no, ooh! Ooh, Destructor. Destructor, good catch. Very, very good catch there. He saw he did not have the positioning he needed, and he was able to get back up. He's very, very unhappy, visibly, understandably so, but much, much better to save yourself and then to take the death. You can come back from that, but you can't come back from a death. Not in a race that's going to be this close. Ooh, that was a little bit dicey there. That was very, very good on his feet thinking from Destructor. Reseren, of course, getting it perfectly there. Managing to drop just right, get hit by the missile, and just run right through the sacks. You need to get hit by the missile. If you touch the sacks, you just die. No, yeah, this early on in the game, the sacks does so much damage. You saw it on Rez's screen. Just taking one super took him down this far. So, yeah. If you screw up that in any way, shape, or form, you just die. Yeah, definitely one of the less fun parts of the run, that sack skip right there. All right. Reseren first to make it down to Sector 4, Destructor right behind him. Sector 4 is, fun fact, the only sector that you step off the elevator and go left instead of right. If you ever see someone running this game and accidentally run into a wall, they got confused about whether or not they were in Sector 4. This is, in fact, live. Yes. But now, Sector 4. Sector 4, things start getting fun in Sector 4. You've been seeing some very slick movement and routing through rooms so far, but Sector 4 is what really picks up. Because in this, here is where your movement is all the more important, because messing it up means you fall into electrified water. And enemies really, really start hurting. In fact, the large fish in particular, you're going to see them run into a little bit later, are one of the most dangerous enemies you can come across. They do, I want to say, like 120 damage on contact. And you have stuff like this room right here, Reseren's going through. Ooh, super clean with those missiles. Those crabs shoot those angled shots that are really, really difficult to dodge sometimes. So getting through those rooms without getting knocked around is just the most critical part of Sector 4. It's so easy to lose many, many seconds in this area if your movement is not on point, but so far, both of them completely on point. Whereas getting that E-Tank, that's one of the big reasons we're not super duper worried about losing the health from sack skip, is all you gotta do is get to this part here. Unfortunately, that big fish is along the way. We have seen runs die to the big fish. Oh, Reseren actually hitting the fish while it was forming, so not taking full big fish damage, but still, that's a you always freeze. Your breath catches in your throat when you see that big fish coming for you. Just going to go through the water here. It's a little bit quicker. I expect both of them are going to be grabbing this tank here earlier. Yes, there's a missile tank up here. Some runners opt to grab it a little bit later. I know Paulsmore is one of the more well-known ones who grabs it after the boss fight. There's really no... Either of them is... They're actually equal time-wise. There's no time penalty for grabbing it earlier or later in this case. Reseren looks like he's having a little bit of trouble getting through stuff, getting knocked around a bit. Destructor playing it real clean, though. And we are coming up very shortly on the next boss. The boss with the best boss theme in the game. Just one that you could run in a club and you'd get weird looks, but people would immediately start dancing anyway because it's got a good beat. Ooh! Ooh! Destructor almost falling through the crumble blocks. That room is festooned with crumble blocks. And there's Ceres's skeleton, but we're not worried about Ceres. We're worried about the Ceres X. A boss that takes 5 missiles to kill, or 2 charge shots if you take advantage of that flare. I told you about that charge beam. It's real good in this game, and you're going to see why on this fight. Reseren getting 1 beam. Destructor, 1 beam. 2 beam. Oh no! 2 beam. All right, Reseren setting up for the first hit. It's free. Looks like he got it. He just set up for 1 more. Thankfully, we know how we can anticipate how Ceres moves based on its movement. He has a clean shot right here. Gets it. The 2 cycle. No problem. Destructor. Looks like he got that first hit. We'll be able to tell by Ceres's color here in him. Oh no! Destructor trying to climb up accidentally jumps down. Oh, he's got to be not loving it right now. But thankfully, anticipating where Ceres is going to be, still gets the 2 cycle. All he has to do now is get the double-double. This is a 5-missile core, and he gets the sweet spot, no problem. Oh my god, falling in the water is one of the most frustrating, aggravating things that can happen in the Ceres fight. Oh, losing time there just feels real bad. Otherwise, both of them had excellent fights. Reseren got the 2-cycle and the double-double. Destructor got the 2-cycle and the double-double. But falling in the water, he's... Oh, I feel real bad. But no time to worry about that. There's a whole lot of race left to run. You have to get out of Sector 4 first, which means running all the way back to the left, lowering the water level. But thankfully now, there's a new tool in Samus's arsenal. That's right, the Speed Booster, one of the greatest inventions in the Metroid series. And now it's back, and it's better than ever. Shine Sparking is easier than ever before, and you no longer take damage when you Shine Spark, which is great. You're going to be seeing a Shine Spark a lot throughout the course of this run. All right, Reseren has lowered the water level and is gotten that missile tank on his way back to the navigation room. He's going to grab one last thing along the way. Destructor now lowering the water level himself. All right, Reseren opting to not go for the low height. It doesn't actually save time. It just looks cool, which, depending on who you ask, is more important. Ooh, unfortunately, getting knocked back. Going to have to gain some distance again in order to be able to get this charge here. Minor thing, but nonetheless, something that does cost time. Destructor manages to break through that wall on the first try. And gets that missile. Everyone, remember what you see here on Reseren's screen. We'll be seeing it again later on. Killing an enemy and watching it merge with another enemy to form a gold enemy to unlock a door. That is a puzzle that is... This is not the last time we'll see it. Ooh, Destructor getting really fast enemy form there. Sometimes it likes to loop around the enemy. Nah, instantly on Destructor's screen. Looks like the game itself is trying to close the gap a little bit right now. And even with that unfortunate tumble during Ceres, both of them are in the same dialogue. So it's still staying really, really close. And don't worry, just because we're out of the tropical vacation sector here in the aquatic Sector 4, the fun hasn't stopped. Now we're on our way to Sector 3, the hot sector. I'm really starting to think that these scientists are fake scientists, because there is no rhyme or reason to how they organize these sectors. But Sector 3 is, in fact, the very hot sector. We're going down here to unlock some doors and get the super missiles, which are, appropriately enough, the spiciest of missile upgrades. I mean, missiles are great. They're not, well, in this game, they're not that great, but they're still pretty great, right? I think we can all agree missiles are cool. Now, what if I were to tell you, we get a power-up that takes all your normal missiles, makes them noticeably stronger, and gives them the most satisfying, screen-shaking explosion sound. That's what super missiles do in this game. And they are the best missile upgrade. Don't at me, you know I'm right. But before we can go get the super missiles, it's time to go unlock the doors, because they are, in fact, behind the green doors. So we are on our way to the security room. First, stop and grab this missile tank here. Reseren already grabbing it. Oh, Reseren unfortunately not having quite the distance to get the speed, so he's going to have to go get it again. That's actually a kind of tight thing there. Not super duper tight, but that's just a few seconds right there that Destructor has gained back from getting that charge first try. All right, see questions in chat about the version. Yeah, we actually usually default to the English version since it's the most common version, and we like to make sure that everybody has a chance to race with the version they probably have. But if both runners agree beforehand, then they can in fact race on the Japanese version, which is... Oh no! Oh, Reseren getting the shine break, but accidentally shine sparking to the right instead of upward. Oh no! But yeah, no, the Japanese version saves a few minutes in text. Otherwise, the only difference is out of bounds tricks, which do not actually come into play in 100%. So, not the biggest a deal. Runners just usually prefer to save those minutes, you know? Oh, oh god, poor Reseren. Accidentally shine sparking like that feels bad. Even though shine sparking is easier than it used to be, it is still not uncommon to accidentally shine spark the wrong way, and it always feels real bad. Oh, Reseren almost getting data spark. Oh, Destructor also almost getting data spark. That's a tight, very, 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 very tight shine spark you can get. But you have to, the important thing about it is making sure that you skid and then crouch just right before the animation, otherwise it just does not hang on. Oh my god! The gap is just shrinking. They're in the same door transition now! Both of them playing well, but Destructor is just playing like a man possessed right now. He's determined. Here we go, it's time for the box fight. Reseren going for the Critty 7 strats, jumping directly into Box's hitbox here. Trying to kill it as close as possible to where it jumps up to save time, and he does it. Very good fight from Reseren, and Destructor going for the classic strats right there, finishing it off in very short order. Both of them having excellent fights, but Critty 7 is just the tiniest bit faster if you do it well. And Rez opting to just jump down there and missile and bomb the wall. I wonder if he's retimed that. Traditionally, we've always done what Destructor does, which is to say, shine spark that block and just kind of go through the gap. But I'm wondering if Rez might have retimed that, because the one downside to shine sparking is it does have a wind up and a bonk animation, which they're not insignificant. So if you're shine sparking really short distances, it might not always be worth it. I'll have to ask him about that afterward. But wow, they entered Sector 3 seconds apart, and they're leaving it fewer seconds apart. This race is staying so close. The only thing that could make it better is if we had not one, but 2 betrayals. Ah, the door fix. Good call. That's probably the big thing right there is the door fix. Without door fix, it's probably about the same, but all right, I can dig it. I am not up to date on all my door fixes. I read the full document, but I think there have been some changes since the last time I looked at it. But here we are. It's time for Sector 6, the Nocturnal Sector. It's supposed to be nighttime, but in practice, it's more just purple than dark. But I'm okay with this, because I prefer purple to the dark myself. I'm not just saying that because I'm wearing a purple shirt right now, although I am. And purple shoes, because I also am. And oh no, the X-Parasites have been hitting the Kool-Aid, and they've now turned blue. Heck yeah, purple shoes. I love these shoes. Here we are, Sector 6. Now, the bombs are so bad that rather than just bomb that wall and get the missiles now, it's literally faster to drop the bomb and then come back later after it's had time to actually explode. Bombs really are just so slow in this game. But unfortunately, they are going to have to spend this entire sector dodging the blue X's. They are, of course, cold, and Samus is now vulnerable to the cold because she is part Metroid. Ooh! Reseren not quite freezing that. Oh god! Oh, Destructor! Oh, Destructor very wisely noticing that that X is going to be a little bit too low, dodging the second one, but ooh, blue X's do a lot of damage. Alright, both of them grabbing the free tank. It's an E-tank that costs no time to grab because we have to wait for the bomb anyway. And now here we go. It's time for the sacks. This time we're going to do the time-honored strategy of poking the bear with the stick and then running away when it's trying to get us. It's faster than waiting for the sax to walk really slowly, because the sax has a flair for the dramatic, and it just kind of likes to clomp around. You know, kind of like that one really obnoxious kid at church. And here we go, Reseren going to make this detour here to grab some missiles, getting a slightly obnoxious slug placement, but still nonetheless getting out of here just fine. Destructor getting slightly better slug placement, but he's got to go fast, and he gets it. Can he beat the slug back out? Oh, he does, but he moves out with such speed that he hits the slug anyway. Went too fast, and oh my god, that door luck. The door was just presenting. Like, Rez runs up, and door's like, here it is, and Rez is like, okay, coming through. But Destructor also getting the zero beams, both of them heading into Giant Core X. This fight is another one where the charge beam becomes important. You've got to get the flare inside the Giant Core X to get the 4th phase, and Reseren gets it. Destructor setting up, also gets it, and he gets the initial double as well. This is a triple double fight, but the first double is always the hardest. Oh, Destructor misses the second one, but Reseren is having a lot of trouble with his doubles. Destructor can gain back time here. Yes. Whew. It's funny to me just because the Giant Core X fight is one where the actual core fight can be the more interesting part. Unfortunately, friends, I regret to inform you that you're going to have to deal with some eye strain for the next few minutes because the Various suit is kind of an abomination. Also, both of them are just going to go for the traditional method of getting this particular missile tank, although, ooh, Destructor having to go through double slugs to get it. That's unfortunate. It is possible to get that without having to do this extra lap, but it requires a bomb jump that is very, very tight because, once again, bombs in this game are a crime unto themselves and unto nature. But on that note, they are done with Sector 6 for now. Just have to grab that one missile tank earlier that they had to wait for the bomb to go off for. Destructor having a little bit of a struggle with the puffers in the previous room. Puffers are one of the most annoying enemies in the entire game. Shooting them makes them give off purple smoke, which more or less doubles the size of their hitbox, so it's terrible. You don't want to deal with them. You just kind of avoid them, but if they're in the way, well, you just roll with it. Literally, you usually just have to kind of roll around them. Alright, Destructor bombing the other wall. We'll be back there later. Once again, just bombs. Feels real bad. Alright. Reseren gonna be first to make it back to the navigation room, but Destructor right behind him. And now that we are done with Sector 6 and have the Various suit, there is no area that is closed off to us because of temperature, which means it's time. It's time to be as cool as we can be and go to Sector 5, the Arctic sector. The only place as chill as I'm not. But it's apparently it's such a cool place though that we can't stay out of it. We're gonna, don't worry, if any of y'all out there are big fans of Sector 5 for some reason, we'll be there many times. Don't worry, you will get your fill of Sector 5 in this run. Unfortunately, that does also mean that since we're visiting the same place and in fact going through a lot of the same rooms, hopefully we're not going to have any trouble with that. It has been known to happen that an experienced runner who just kind of autopilots through some of the less interesting sections of the run will sometimes forget which Sector 5 visit they're on and go to the wrong place. This is just a fact of life. It's a thing that happens, and I really hope you don't see it today. It is a very cool sector. One might even say it's the coolest sector. So first things first, just gonna have to make our way into the sector, blow up some walls, deal with some pancakes, and then we're into the nice sector-specific music. This game handles music in a bit of a weird way. There generally isn't a music attached to a sector, with certain exceptions. It's more like whatever flag you're on event-wise is usually the music. Here we go. That nice crystalline sounding music. Crystalline. Tomato. Oh yeah, this various suit looks very much like what would happen if Samus asked Adam to help her make various suit for the school play, and Adam was like, "I'm busy," and threw something together with whatever he had at hand, and this is what he got. You know, kind of like that episode of The Simpsons where Lisa is supposed to look like Florida, but demonstrably doesn't. What I'm saying is that this various suit was the equivalent of if Homer Simpson designed a Chozo suit. All right, that's what I'm saying. Speaking of weird colors, the yellow doors are now open, and we're heading into this fun vertical room right here. This is actually one of the more challenging vertical climbs in the run. Doing it quickly and dealing with the enemies as you go is certainly a challenge, and there's also a cool strat we might be seeing later. On the second visit, we need ice missiles to do it, and power bombs, so we'll see how that goes. It's not actually faster, but it is far, far cooler. I'm a big fan. I don't blame anyone for not going for it, but it always makes me happy when they do. And here we go. Unfortunately, everyone, we have to say goodbye to the best missile upgrade. We now have ice missiles, which means we can freeze things. That's cool. Unfortunately, it also means missiles don't have that satisfying kaboom, and we can't one-shot with missiles anymore. So the beam becomes all the more important. And both of them are going to go do this puzzle room first. This is another one of those kill an enemy and have it reform puzzles. The big randomness here is whether or not the Ripper forms in the correct positioning for them to get to that block. Ooh, Reseren gets bad positioning, but he just freezes it quickly and rolls with it. Destructor gets good positioning, but takes a couple jumps to get up there. Still keeping it really close here. Ooh, Reseren going inside the hitbox. Just, oh, fun swag strats up in here. More enemies reforming. Ooh, Destructor giving it a pseudo screw just because he can. And on that note, they are done with this visit to Sector 5. There have been no mistakes going the wrong way. Both of them are heading out of the sector as they should be. Here's your fun fact. If you are playing this game and you are worried on this first visit that you are leaving the sector without having done everything, when you get into the big room, just look and listen. Do you see this giant friend in the background? Do you hear this giant friend? Is the screen shaking? Congratulations, you are done with first visit to Sector 5. If not, then no. Also, if you make it to this room and you don't hear this...
Emergency in Sector 3.
That's right. The first visit to Sector 5 ends in one of the most iconic parts of the run. It's time for the emergency. And I'm sorry, it's been a while since I took Japanese. I can't read all this text. I can't tell where the emergency is. Chat, I'm gonna need your help on this one. Where is the emergency? I want to give a special shout out to those people who always inevitably highlight emergency and Franker Z during this section because y'all make my day. But dang, the closeness right now. Oh my goodness, it seems like I think a big part of it might be text mashing. Destructor has been playing on Japanese for quite a long time. His text mashing is really on point. I think he's gaining some time on the mashing alone. Because he's now back in the lead. But emergency can, in fact, cause another change. It's very consistent. You have way too much time to do it, but seconds is very easy to gain and lose seconds throughout the course of it. All it takes is one misfired missile, one extra I-beam, just missing a double on the core. But here we go. Now the fun starts. Having to freeze the stretchies and get through it. Getting them into position and using them as platforms is the big part of what the game's trying to teach you. But for us, it's basically doing it as quickly as possible. Ooh! Destructor takes a hit there. getting knocked back. This is the big room here. He's got to be careful to not... It's real easy to blow out that block if you're not careful, but neither of them does it. I just to get past this upper corridor, no problem, freezing everything as he goes. Oh, Reseren accidentally freezing the stretchy when it extends. Oh no, losing several seconds there. Destructor first to make it to the door. How is the door going to treat him? Oh god, side hoppers. 0 beams. A 4:47 door time. That's an excellent door time. If he can get double doubles here, he's gonna have a real strong emergency time. That looked like a double. Oh, he missed a double. Oh no. But he gets himself a kind of sweet spot. Reseren right behind him. Destructor going to have a 4:32, looks like, and Reseren a 4:29. Dang, those are both real good emergency times. Anything at 4:30-ish or higher is excellent. So for both of them to finish around 4:30 and higher, and this close together, both of them just playing extremely well today. But after emergency, Destructor has managed to switch the lead in his favor and has now gone from being a little bit behind to being several seconds ahead, having the stronger of emergency, definitely having the stronger emergency showing there. But now we've gone, our beam has gone from being a little pea shooter to being a little bit on the wide side. That's right. Spazer beam is dead. Long live wide beam. And now shoots very big hexagons. 3 of them, in fact. That is 18 sides for the price of 1 shot. Now it's time for the climb here. This is another really cool bit of movement here. All about wall jumping, freezing the stretchies, knowing where to grab, where to climb, where to freeze. Ooh, Reseren getting a little bit black flagged there on the last stretchy, but making it out. And on that note, both of them done with Sector 3. That was a solid Sector 3 from both of them. But now it's time to do something extremely important. That's right, we have to go back to the main deck, go back to the habitation deck, because Computer Dad has found life forms. That's right, something is alive on the station. You have to figure out what it is. Surprise, it's the animals. That's right, we have to go save the animals. Someone's got to do it, and it's going to be us, because we're good people here. But even with the animals, a certain amount of luck comes into play. The animals do like to run around in the background, and when you open the door for them, they don't always come through quickly. We'll see what happens. Yep, sometimes there are in fact troll animals, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get them today. Only time will tell. But first they have to get up there. That means moving back through the main deck, some of that fun little movement, which is now different because we have high jump. So they're going to see them vertically move up that shaft a little bit differently. And then, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We'll say this is also great. This is also a great room for seeing. You see Destructor doing it there a whole bunch of the times, just jumping and shooting right before he lands. That's what we call shot cancels. Being in the air is slow, so you want to land as quickly as possible at all times. And shooting makes Samus's hitbox get taller a little bit faster, puts her back on the ground a few frames quicker. So we do it whenever we can. Destructor going for impossible strat. Oh, doesn't get it. He freezes the enemy a little bit too early. Oh goodness. I give Destructor the props for going for impossible strat, unfortunately not quite getting it. It's not actually impossible, but it is by far the hardest of the strats for that room. But he does get the shine break right there. Shine break, of course, referring to the strat where we can break a block, but still crouch and get the charge from it so we can shine spark. We have a 100% consistent visual cue for it. Now let's see how the animals go. Oh, that was gruesome. Oh, that was gruesome. Oh my god, where's the third Edikun? Oh my You know what I think happened there? I think they were so close together that third Edikun on Reseren's screen accidentally started running to the door on Destructor's game. And was like, oh shoot, they've already got 3. I'm in the wrong game. And they had to run all the way back across the Atlantic Ocean to Reseren's system to get through his door. Also, please cover your eyes for a few moments while we have to look at this grotesque imagery. A little bit of nice computer noise silence. I actually kind of like the moments like this where you actually only hear ambient sounds. The game doesn't do it that often, but it's good for atmosphere. This is a very atmospheric game, and I like that a lot about it. I think a lot of folks will agree with me on that. But with that, main deck is finished. On our way back down to Sector 5 again, because of course we have to go back to Sector 5. Why on earth wouldn't we? Because the time has come to answer one of the most important questions that plagues us all when we're trying to stream and do audio balancing. What is the one sound that we can control that throws all of our audio balancing out the window? The answer is, of course, power bombs. And the power bombs can be found in Sector 5, and that's where both of them are heading right now. They're a really useful item. The game seems to think so too. We're going to have way too many of them by the time this is all said and done. 74 of them to be exact. Who in the world has ever used 74 power bombs? Why? Why? That's a lot of power bombs. But second visit to Sector 5. Now, there's a cool Shine Spark that we used to do here. We don't really do it anymore because it turns out it's not as fast as just running. Destructor might go for it just for swag. We'll see. Nope, he's going to go for speed. I can't blame him in this race. It is actually faster just to run through this room. The bonk and the wind-up for the Shine Spark just make too much of a difference. Like I said before, Shine Sparking is a quick method of movement, but those animations just take an edge away from it. Give it a little bit of extra something against it. Here we are, power bombs. Hope y'all are ready. Hope y'all are ready for the loud whooshing. And we get to use them immediately too. We're going to see Destructor try to do a wall jump in the next room so that he doesn't have to freeze the Ripper. It's a tight wall jump, and here we go with a shot cancel. Oh, so close! Ooh, no! And Reseren tries to go for it as well, but doesn't quite get the distance, but he notices it in time to catch himself, giving him the lead back. But since he did fall down somewhat, it's not a huge lead. Res back in the lead, but only by a few seconds. And there it is. There's that whoosh. Audio balancing in this game is a bit weird, I'm not gonna lie. Oh yeah, and there's a sax over there. Don't worry about it, it's fine. Reseren and Destructor both dropping that power bomb high because we need to break the ceiling above us. You drop it too low, then you have to drop a second power bomb. Nobody got time for that. Let's see how the Rippers treat him. Oh, Reseren getting the worst Ripper placement. Far left is the worst you can get. Destructor getting better placement, saving himself a second or two there. But now it's time for this vertical climb once again. Now with power bombs, they can, if they want to, go for a strat we call the Kadoom strat. I'm curious to see if either of them will go for it. Opting not to. Can't say I blame them. It's a cool strat, but it's definitely challenging. And it saves no time whatsoever, so it's not really worth it. But, you know, sometimes you make sacrifices for the sake of looking cool. Maybe that's just me. I'm not sure. But now we come across one of the first of something we'll be seeing a lot more of later. Puzzle rooms. Reseren graciously dropping a power bomb so that we can see there are crumble blocks all the way throughout. You gotta freeze the Ripper in just the right spot to get across. Here's your big secret, the thing that makes it easier. The rightmost block of the section with the raised ceiling is not a crumble block, so you can freeze it a little bit more to the left than you think you can. And once you remember that, you have an easier time with that room, but it's still definitely challenging. Even experienced runners will misfreeze the Ripper. But in this case, Reseren and Destructor both freezing it exactly where they wanted, getting through very quickly, still staying right at each other's heels. Done with Sector 5, again, just in the same room. And things are going to start getting real hot and spicy now, because we are now about to come up to one of the most intense sections of the run, the boss Gauntlet. We're about to fight multiple bosses in pretty rapid succession. Starting off with one that I'm sure both runners have been looking forward to tremendously, just because it hates your happiness. Don't worry, you will see. You will all see. But first, we have to go back to the ship, because Computer Dad has found something in the back seat, and he has some serious questions about what we've been up to. We told him we were going to the library to study, but then why did he find something that isn't a library book in the back seat? Well, we're going to have to explain it. Don't worry about it. I have a good cover story. First, we have to get through this tunnel right here, both of them dropping power bombs in the correct locations to not have to drop an extra one. If you're not careful, you can accidentally make that tunnel break from 2 different spots and have to drop an extra power bomb. Nobody likes that. Here we go. The tunnel of spit. And both of them making it through without taking the hit. Perfect. Getting the missile tank. Oh my god, they're just so close to each other. Destructor opting to morph before going through the door. That actually surprised me a little bit. Normally, I'm used to seeing folks morph after they run off the ledge. But here we go, both of them getting beamed up into the ship like less than 2 seconds apart. And what did Dad find in the back seat? He found the animals in the back seat. I bet you thought I was going to say something impolite, didn't you? But here we go, heading on down into the reactor core area, which is covered in plants. Apparently the gardener has declared war on everybody. And oh boy. But don't worry, we'll take care of it in due time. But first things first, we have to take care of this boss right here in the next room. I'm talking about the dreaded Yakuza. No, not that Yakuza. This isn't fun Kazuma Kiryu Yakuza. This is Spider that doesn't know Spider's supposed to have 8 legs, not 6 Yakuza. And it is so mad that we are calling it out on its miscount that it's going to give us too many cycles. That's right, Yakuza will open its mouth eventually when it wants to. But unfortunately, it doesn't always do that. It likes to move around the room. So if we're lucky, we'll get 2 cycles. If we're unlucky, we will get 4 cycles. Thankfully, we can hit it off screen to minimize it. Here we go. Destructor getting grabbed. So he can make it open its mouth faster, hopefully. Oh, not getting... Reseren! Reseren getting the perfect luck in Destructor. Oh no, he's on to 3 cycles. Oh, Destructor getting the 4 cycle. Oh no. Oh my god, this is truly the duality of Yakuza right here. The yin and the yang of obnoxious bosses exemplified in a single race. Oh no. Oh no. The worst. Reseren also having a really good core. This is a 6 missile core, so triple doubles are the key. And the other problem is, though, with every missile upgrade, there's a different timing for doubles. Oh, Destructor. Beautiful triple doubles on that core. With ice missiles, they're actually starting to get pretty hard to do, but both of them showing off that perfect timing. My god, this is a roller coaster of emotions. I wasn't ready for this. I just had a cup of coffee and I was not prepared for this. I don't think my doctor wants me to ride roller coasters right now. But that's okay, because here comes the Sax, also known as the Fun Police. Here's the one chase that probably had everyone quaking in their shoes when they were a kid. Because the Sax, you have no choice but to run away from it. And we're not going to take the easy way either. We're going to missile the floor here and shoot it without the Sax running away first. Reseren, no trouble, having a little bit, well, no trouble, although he did have to take a second shot to break the block. So Destructor now doing the same thing. Let's see if he can break the block on the first shot here. He can! Super, super clean chase from Destructor. Now Reseren stopping to grab this powerbomb tank. Destructor right behind him still. Unfortunately, Yakuza, the difference between the one cycle and the fourth cycle is pretty dramatic. This is, I think, genuinely the widest the gap has been this entire race so far. And it's all because of Yakuza. That prick. But don't worry, this is far from over. And now we're up on, I guess, this is a boss, Notori. I mean, I've been told it's a boss. Honestly, the core fight is more challenging than the boss itself. Because in 100% we have so many missiles, it's literally just stand here, shoot, occasionally duck, occasionally jump. But now, 5 missiles once again. This is a bit of a short room. These doubles are not easy to get. Reseren morphing to try to get as low as possible. Now going for the sweet spot, and oh, perfect! Double doubles and a sweet spot. That is as good a plasma core, as pretty a plasma core fight as you would ever hope to see. Reseren playing real well right now. Let's see how it goes for Destructor. That looked good. That looked good as well. He just has to get the sweet spot. And he gets it. Destructor also having an excellent, excellent Notori fight. I mean, Notori... Can you really call that a fight? I really don't think you can. It's just kind of... Ugh. Ooh, Reseren getting that fast spark, though. Let's see if Destructor can do it as well. Goes for it, and oh, a little bit too far to the left. If you shine spark as quickly as possible in that room, you can get knocked out of the bonk animation by that enemy, but it is super, super tight. Yeah, that's actually a good way of putting it. It is definitely more of an ammo dump than a fight. Both of them making it through well, and they now also have the plasma beam. One of the most useful of beam upgrades, because the plasma beam has been, it's been hitting the gym, it's been eating right since Super Metroid. In Super Metroid, it just pierced enemies. In Metroid Fusion, it pierces enemies and does damage for every single frame it's inside their hitbox. And Metroid Fusion is a 60 FPS game. So that's a lot of damage. Especially if you're aiming, say, diagonally through a square hitbox. Everybody remember that one. We'll come back to it later. It's very important. But with this, we are done in Sector 2 for now. Destructor starting off this dialogue as Reseren finishes it. We're on our way back to Sector 5. Yes, again, Sector 5. Although this time somebody is, somebody's made a mess, shall we say. So we have to go and dispense justice. Because somebody worked really hard on that sector, and now it's just kind of melting. Somebody left the freezer door open, and this sector is a little bit less cool for it. Here we are. So, allow me to translate here. The nightmare is here. That boss that y'all hated when you were a kid, it's time for Nightmare. Thankfully, in the speedrun, we do have ways of making Nightmare less painful to deal with, but that does not make it a free fight. But first, the biggest, most impressive Shine Spark, and Reseren is off! Takes off running to the 30, the 40, the 50. My God, he skipped 4 all the way. I don't watch football, okay? That, my friends, is that's the Nightmare Shine Spark, and Destructor accidentally gets hit by the crab on his way down. Thankfully, we have backups. But, that's unfortunate. That's a time loss you hate to see, but Destructor getting the backup, zooming through the rooms. This is the single longest Shine Spark in the entire run, bar none. Thankfully, both of them managing to... Destructor falling down the crumble blocks. This E-Tank is one you do not want to miss. If you miss hitting that block and going through the wall on your way down, you have to come back after you get the gravity suit. And that is a colossal time loss. Now just making their way through this underwater section of Sector 5 here. dealing with fish pirates. The worst kind of pirates. Excuse me. Just a little bit of cleanup to do before we get to the boss door. Reseren grabbing that last powerbomb tank and now just on his way to Nightmare. Did I say last? I meant second to last. He has to grab this E-tank. My god, Reseren is getting this spectacular door luck. He doesn't even have to wait for it to open. It's just already open when he gets there. What the heck? But first to make it to Nightmare, thankfully this is a 3-phase fight, but we have a setup that makes the first 2 phases essentially non-existent. Here, I'll show you what I mean in a moment. That was the first phase, you already missed it. Now we're on the second phase. And second phase is over. Now we're on to the third phase. This is the meat and potatoes of the fight right here. Gotta do the dance. Nightmare comes at you real slow, but when it gets too close, it starts moving around the room. It's chasing either you or an invisible dot. We're not sure which, we gotta figure it out. We have to make the Nightmare get completely on screen or it's not gonna stop moving, and Reseren doing the dance flawlessly. He could be on Dancing with the Stars with those moves. But now it's time for another core here. This is another triple-double core. Gets the first one, gets the second one. Can he get the triple-double? He can! Reseren showing us a flawless Nightmare fight. Meanwhile, Destructor, no trouble in the first 2 phases. Into the third phase here. Can he also do the dance? Nightmare chasing the dot for a moment there, it looks like. But it looks like he's got it. And he's got it! Nightmare lined up perfectly. Right next to where he dies. Now, can he get the triple-double? First double. Oh, having trouble with that second double today. Gets that looked good. He can finish it off here with the last one, and he gets it. Sweet spot. Destructor having a flawless Nightmare fight, but dropping one of his doubles. Otherwise, still playing top-notch. And now, armed with the gravity suit, both of them are giving us the ultimate gift, the gift of a good-looking suit. But first, they gotta deal with Underwater Sector 4, and Reseren is now going through the worst room in the game. This room is terrible. Because you're dealing with these little crab enemies that are very, very difficult to kill. You can't really kill them quickly. And they're all shooting croissants at you. They must be, I don't know what... I was trying to come up with a joke about disgruntled bakers here, but I don't know what it is. All I know is that I want croissants now. They sound really good all of a sudden. Alright, Destructor entering Underwater Sector 4, going to go tackle the worst room in the game. Let's see how it goes for him. So far, so good. Destructor trying to use ice missiles to freeze the enemies as he goes, like Reseren did. Looks like, yeah, Destructor only got hit by 1 croissant. Very good room from him there. Oh my gosh. But even with Gravity Suit, the game is just not playing nice. Reseren already taking over an entire E-tank of damage. Just moving through the sector, hitting normal enemies. This area is no joke. Do not let the calming music and nice aesthetic fool you. Underwater Sector 4 is a very dangerous part of the run. And now it's time for one of these puzzles again. Kill the enemies, reform them as gold enemies to open the door. Here we go. Oh, Reseren accidentally firing his charge shot downward instead of forward. But he manages to make it through. That's really what matters. Take a little detour here, grab the E-tank. Meanwhile, Destructor unlocking the red doors. Going to enter the puzzle room that Reseren is in right now. Even with the unfortunate nonsense in Yakuza, Destructor not slowing down, staying right on Reseren's tail, but Reseren is not letting it go to his head, still playing very quickly, very smoothly. First, you gotta deal with some more fish pirates. Like I said, fish pirates are the worst kind of pirates, and this sector is a big part of why. Oh god, the big fish. Deals with it though, no trouble there. Alright, now Reseren is going to be the first to come up on a challenging little shine spark here. There are a couple of tanks in a single room. The game wants you to run back and forth a couple of times, get a shine charge, and do stuff. Now, we don't got time for that. We're going to try to get a charge on a very short run and then go through a green pillar, but it's very tight. There's more croissants along the way. Can Rez do it? He gets the charge. He gets the charge. But now he's got to make sure he keeps it. He's going to have to recharge one more time, and he gets it through the tunnel, up to the power bomb tank. Doesn't get hit by either of the croissant throwers. Very well played from Rez. Now he just has to get himself to the data room, get the final missile upgrade, and he's, well, almost done with Sector 4. Almost done with Sector 4. Now Destructor, going for that same Shine Spark. Here we go. Freezes the enemy, gets the charge. He's not even playing safe. Destructor's going for speed here. He's not landing on platforms. He's not doing anything like that to make sure he gets it. He's just lining up, letting muscle memory do the work. That was super quick. All right, Reseren now has his diffusion missiles, showing off one of the cool things there. You may have noticed that he was able to fire it pretty much immediately when he came through that door. That's because there's a fun thing about Metroid Fusion. If you're charging your beam or your missiles when you go through a screen transition, you will always, 100% of the time, come out with a full charge on the other side. And diffusion missiles, they take about 6 seconds to charge. 6 seconds! So for diffusion missiles in particular, it is critically important to make sure you charge them through screen transitions. Otherwise, you're just going to be standing around. And nobody wants to stand around when we're trying to go fast, especially not in this race, where they are so close, where even fractions of a second will be the difference between a lead change or staying ahead or behind. You know, it might be 5 minutes. I've been told it's 6 seconds. It certainly feels longer. But Reseren is done with Sector 4 for good. We'll be passing through again later, but there are no more items to get, and with that powerbomb tank, Destructor is also done. Sector 4 done and dusted for both runners. We are far from finished yet, though. Now we have to go off to Sector 6, because you remember the box security robot we fought earlier? It's back, and it wants revenge for something non-specific. I'm not entirely sure what, but that's okay. We're ready for it. Reseren going to be the first to enter Sector 6 here. Is going to have to talk to Dad at the navigation room one more time, while Destructor is just exiting Sector 4 now. Unfortunately for us, Sector 6 is going to be a source of potential frustration later on, but for now, we're just heading through it. Nothing fancy, just head through it. We're going to see Reseren showcase some space boosting here and an R-shot. Oh, but he accidentally lands. The space jump in this game is the stuff of nightmares. It makes you think it's your friend. Oh, yeah, you can jump forever, it says. Don't worry. And then you press jump, and nothing happens because it hates you. So learning to bend the space jump to your will is a very important part of playing this game quickly. And as you can see, even those who have done it many times will still occasionally struggle with the space jump. All right. So Reseren first to make it through that wall there, the power bomb wall, and on his way into lower Sector 6 here. Destructor getting that E-tank. Following, only a few rooms behind now. Ooh, Rez getting some real bad positioning on those puffers, thankfully freezing them rather than getting knocked around by them. Oh! Gets knocked around by that one, though. God, why are puffers so bad? Why are they even a thing? Why is there no entry without authorization? These are all questions that I hope we someday find an answer to. Is today that day? I don't know. But all I do know is it's time for Xbox. That's right, the box has been possessed by either the X-Parasites or Microsoft. We are not sure. Reseren going for the spicy strat, just bringing the fight directly to Xbox here. This is definitely a challenging fight. The missiles come at you, and the ceiling is just the right height where Box can knock you down. But Rez has the positioning just right and finishes off Xbox with minimal damage to himself. Now just has to get 4 missiles into this core to finish it, while Destructor starting off the Xbox fight for himself here. Dang, everybody's going for the spicy new pseudo screw the Xbox strat. I'm out of touch with modern tech. Ooh, misses a single missile. Destructor gets knocked down, and now the Xbox is walking around instead of hopping. You kind of want to hop around, makes it a little bit easier to judge distance, but thankfully Destructor manages to salvage that fight and get out of there. Now 4 missiles stand between him and the wave beam. Meanwhile, Reseren is heading down into the forbidden sector, the restricted sector, the sector where the title drops are all kept. That's right. Here's where the Metroids are. Y'all are wondering, where on earth are my Metroids in this Metroid game? Here they are, all in this one sector. Unfortunately, they were having a party, and as often the case when people come over who are uninvited, you always have that one person. And in this case, that one person is the Sax. No one told them this is Roman candles and fireworks are not allowed in this state. You can't have them. So now we have to just kind of jettison the entire party. Just how it is. Just how it is. I don't make the rules. That was a pretty fun party while it lasted, I guess. So Reseren now has to take a stern lecture from Dad, saying, I thought you were going to the library again, and this time you went to a party. What's next? And Samus just has no answer, because she knows what's next, but doesn't want to say it. At its heart, Metroid Fusion really is a story all about the bond between a father and daughter, and how sometimes a family can in fact be a half Metroid bounty hunter and a computer with a voice and a sense of superiority. Very much ahead of its time in that regard. But no time to worry about that. We're going to do some more shenanigans with the diffusion missiles here. You see Reseren charging it through the door because he has to get this E-tank right here. Thankfully, the snowflakes from the diffusion missiles do make breaking missile blocks a whole lot quicker. That's one thing we do like about them, even though we do hate the fact that they are much, much worse for double missiles. Thankfully, we only have to worry about 2 fights with them as far as double missiles are concerned. So we're on our way to the final Idor boss now. We just have to take care of a few items along the way. First things first, this old puzzle again, kill some enemies, but now it's time for a gold pirate? Yes, a gold pirate. What the heck just happened there? Don't worry. We'll come back to it in a moment. That's not the last gold pirate we're going to have to deal with. No, 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 no. A little bit more diffusion, just using it right here to Reseren. Galaxy braining it up a little bit right here, deciding, hey, I don't want to wait for it to charge. It is actually faster for me to leave the room and come back than it is to wait for the missiles to charge normally. That's kind of great. So here we go, gold pirates. You have to shoot them in the back. Turns out the game is only checking that you're facing in the same direction, so if you shoot and turn around, it works. And that's how we do it. Destructor showing off there the standard strat, popping up to the floor, diffusion missile to break those blocks, heading into the gold pirate room, saving himself a few seconds there. Oh, Reseren getting I-beams. Oh, what's with these I-beams? But here we go, everybody. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. And now it's time for our musical guest star. That's right, it's our friend Ridley X singing you the song of his people, and you see them all doing them diagonal shots. There's a big important reason for that. And that was very strange. It took approximately 30 seconds for the audio to change. I was trying to give you maximum Ridley, and the console said no. But no, Plasma Beam is so good there. You shoot it diagonally through Ridley's hitbox, and it just does maximum damage. But with that, both of them still right on top of each other. We're heading into... Oh, everybody get ready. Fasten that apron. Put that do-rag around your head. Grab a broom with each hand. It's time for cleanup. That's right, cleanup. The one part of the run that sets 100% apart from any percent and is genuinely the most exciting, the most challenging part of Metroid Fusion 100%. Considering how close they are, the race can and will likely be decided by how cleanup goes for Reseren and Destructor. And it starts right here in Sector 1. The area where you may have seen us skip a whole bunch of items the first time. Well, now with high jump, screw attack, space jump, and all that stuff, we can get it all and do it real quick. These first few items are not too bad to get, but Reseren is already going to be on his way to the first of the big challenge items. A room that requires getting a shine charge over several door transitions. The game is gracious enough to put a whole bunch of items throughout rooms you've already been through, so he's going to have to go through that room on the right. Let's see if Reseren tries to save himself a screen transition. He is going to try. This is a really tight charge to get. If he doesn't get it, he's going to have to go all the way back to the left. He gets it. He kills the enemy, and he gets the Shine Spark. Very well played. Saves himself 2 screen transitions doing that. He's probably going to try to do it on the way back as well. Destructor is just going for it. He's not even going to worry about setting that up. He's just running. Gets that shot, gets the charge, gets the Shine Spark, no problem. Wait, did Reseren? Okay, for a moment there I thought he had accidentally Shine Sparked diagonally. That would have been unfortunate. All right, Destructor. Got me. He gets it! He gets it. I was worried he... Last race I saw, he was going for that one charge right there, right before the door to save himself those transitions on the return, but crouched a little bit too early. No problem this time. He gets it first try. So both of them making it through the hardest part of Sector 1 cleanup without a problem right there. Saving those door transitions, playing super well. Now they just have to grab the last few items just along the way getting out of here, and then they're on to the next sector. Unfortunately, this room Reseren is in is a little bit more annoying than it could be, because I did mention it before, but space jump does make it so you can't wall jump anymore. Why? I don't know. I don't like it either, but that's just how it is. So you just gotta space jump. Here we go. Reseren going to be going through this next room. He might, let's see if he opts to go for a space boost. He's going for, might be going for it. Nope, he's going for the Shine Spark. Playing it nice and consistent. Get this missile tank, wall jump up here, get that next one. Nice and smooth. Destructor also opting for the Shine Spark here. It is very possible. It is possible to space boost through that if you would like. Not the biggest of deals if you want to do that. Definitely a little bit more challenging, but not actually really faster. Maybe the tiniest bit faster, because you save the bonk animation. All right, and Reseren here grabbing the final item. This powerbomb tank, he is done with Sector 1. Going to be high-fiving in the big room here as Destructor is on his way to grab it right now as we speak. All right, and Destructor now also done with Sector 1. Time for Sector 3. Now, Sector 3 is one of the ones that's actually undergone the most noticeable change since the switch to RTA. There's been a switch in the order of cleanup in the bottom of the sector. We used to do right then left, now we do left then right. Let's just see a room that we otherwise not normally get to see. Reseren misses that space boost, gonna have to take the alternate route. Not a big time loss, but when they're this close, if Destructor can get it, he's gonna save some time there. He gets through, drops that power bomb, gets that E-tank. Destructor gonna gain back a little bit of time here. That's always the big danger with the space boost. Space boosts are often faster than Shine Sparks, but you're at the mercy of the space jump, and as I have said many a time, you never want to be at the mercy of the space jump. Here we go. Destructor dropping that power bomb, going for the bomb jump. Oh! For some reason, the game did not give it to him. Unfortunately, while there's a power bomb going off, you can't grab ledges, which is why they're trying to get up there with that bomb jump. But now here we go. Reseren going down into the left to get the stuff first. Destructor, interestingly, going for classic. He's opting to go do right side first, then left side. This strat is a little bit faster in game time, but loses you a little bit of RTA time. It might just be one of those muscle memory things, just kind of. Let me tell you all a little story. This is one of those things where if you're not 100% sure how to do a reroute, you shouldn't necessarily do it without practicing it first. Trust me, this is a thing I know. I did it in a race and I missed an item, so I can't blame Destructor for opting to do this. Incidentally, in case anybody was wondering, we do have a policy in place for if an item is accidentally missed. If a runner misses an item, and it's an accidental miss because, you know, sometimes an unscrupulous type might try to skip an item on purpose. They think that they can calculate it'll save them enough time. No, if it's an accidental missed item, it costs you 5 minutes. 5 minutes get added onto your end time. So don't miss items, essentially. But the cool thing is Destructor will get to show us a cool R-shot and space boost right here, flying through this room. That is a real cool space boost right there. You've also heard me mentioning R-shots. Let me elaborate on that a little bit here, since we're going to be seeing more of them in a bit. R-shot is the R button. The R shoulder button is what you use to hold down when you want to fire missiles. But if you already have a beam fully charged and then press R, the game lets you fire it without breaking out of a spin. So if you're somersaulting in a space boost with a fully charged beam and press R, you will fire a fully charged beam shot and keep going at speed. That's an R shot, and it's extremely useful. Lets you open doors without losing speed. So you'll be seeing that one again. All right, Destructor can do this climb again. Now with space jump, you can actually just kind of skip a whole bunch of rungs of the ladder. All right, Reseren going through this room right here. Almost done with Sector 3. Just has a few more things to grab, including one very sneaky item. This E-tank and then a power bomb tank, one that I'm sure a lot of folks missed in their childhood. Here we go, Destructor entering the final room while Reseren exits and grabs that final power bomb tank right there in the tunnel. That's kind of rude, but there it is. There it is. All right, into Sector 5. Reseren going up here to grab this power bomb tank. A little bit obnoxious to get, but what can you do? It's 100%. Got to get them all. And Destructor also not forgetting to grab this power bomb tank. Into Sector 5, staying right behind Reseren. Both of them playing well here. There've been a couple of minor hiccups that each of them have made, but nothing major. The lead staying about the same as it has been. Both of them just playing really well. That's always the thing. When you get to this point, it's like someone's got to make a big mistake. You don't want to see it, but it's got to happen if you're going to have a lead change. But both of them are just such seasoned, such skilled runners. You don't really expect it. So, oh no, Destructor! Oh, he forgot. He was too far to the right and the door didn't open when he shot it. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's an unfortunate fact of life sometimes when you're dealing with everything being just so. You're being just far to the left enough to open the door. Sometimes, well, sometimes the door don't open. But here we go. It ain't over yet because Reseren is now entering Sector 6. Sector 6 is the hardest sector in cleanup. This is the big one. If Reseren can make it through Sector 6 cleanly, he's in a real good position to clinch this one. But it ain't over until he's done with Sector 6 and then Sector 2. All right, Reseren going for the slightly more secure Shine Spark strat, not going for Space Boost at all. Thankfully, with some recent tricks developed, in fact, by Reseren himself, we've actually been able to eliminate Space Boosts from the quick strats. Space Boosts are still the fastest way to go, but we do have Shine Spark strats that are almost as quick. But Destructor going for pure speed. Oh no! Destructor getting through all the doors and then accidentally going a bit too high. Thankfully, though, since he didn't have to do the wind-up in the bonk, he is no worse off than Reseren is having to do that backup there. So he's still gaining a little tiny bit of time, but it definitely feels bad. He could have gained a little bit more time if he had kept that space boost going. That's what I'm talking about with Sector 6. There's the strat variations time-wise can make a huge difference, especially when failure means having to go back through doors again or reset a room. So tension is pretty high right now, especially if both of them know what's going on here in Sector 6. All right, Reseren getting through that ceiling, grabbing that powerbomb tank on the first try. That's real good. That's one you definitely hate to miss. There's a lot of doors you have to go back through if you missed that. Opting not to do the Shine Spark here. That's not one that actually is any faster, I don't believe, but definitely looks cool. Destructor gets through the ceiling, no problem, gets the powerbomb tank. But now Reseren is going to be in a tough spot here because he's coming up on the worst item in the game. I'm talking about the powerbomb tank that requires the frame-perfect jump. The intended strat does not require a frame-perfect jump, but the intended strat requires you to wait for an ouch to move into position, and ouches are really slow. So instead, Reseren goes for the frame-perfect jump on crumble blocks, does not get it first try, gets it second try. Very nice. Yeah, to give you an idea of how slow the ouches are, even taking multiple tries to get that, still faster. Reseren is almost done. He's finished half of Sector 6 here. Just a Destructor getting the frame perfect ball jump on the way over. Real smooth. Gonna save himself a few seconds here. Reseren showing off one of his most recent contributions right here. That high Shine Spark there after a powerbomb drop, making this room so much easier. Shoutouts to him for finding that, like, seriously, because this room has always been a bit annoying, but that new strat has taken a pretty hefty chunk of the annoyance out of it. Destructor doing it the more classic way here, having to do 2 Shine Sparks in here to get the E-Tank. But now he has to get back to the door on the left here, get out of here, going for a space boost, gets it. Entering the squiggly room while Reseren leaves it, still right behind him, but Reseren has had a really clean Sector 6 so far. And with that, he's heading into Sector 4. Like I said before, Sector 4 is already done. All we have to do is just get through it. And then into Sector 2, the final sector of cleanup. But it's certainly not going to be a walk in the park. Sector 2 is no Sector 6, but it is probably the second hardest chapter in cleanup. It's got some challenging puzzle rooms in it. And Destructor, also known as Sector 6, heading into Sector 4, entering it right as Reseren leaves it. And it starts off right away. Reseren heading into the room we call Crumble City. I expect we might get a powerbomb drop so I can talk about it a little bit here. Maybe not. All right, that's all right. Not everyone does that, but you can't see it. But this entire room is made up almost entirely of crumble blocks. You saw it right there. You have to space jump through this room to get these 2 items without falling. If you do, you'll usually just fall all the way down the room and have to go all the way back around. Nobody wants to do that. Crumble City is pretty terrible because, you guessed it, you're at the mercy of space jump, which is something you never want to be. But Reseren makes it through no problem. Destructor manages to save it, though. Both of them taking care of Crumble City, not having to make an extra round. Well played. But we're running out of rooms in cleanup. There's only a few puzzles left in Sector 2, and then one last item in the main deck, and then it's on the way to the last bosses. Time is running out. If Reseren keeps playing like he's playing, he can maintain this lead. Destructor's also been playing really, really well, so they've both got to keep up this level of play, or things could very easily shift. And we're coming up on one of my least favorite rooms in Sector 2 right here. There's some rippers here. You have to just kind of, you have to fall through the crumble blocks, respin, and then space jump before you hit the next row of crumble blocks. It's terrible, and I hate it. Intended strat involves something with diffusion missiles, but blah, blah, blah. Screw that room is my point. That's my point. That's the only point I want to make here. That room is terrible. Destructor going into that room now. Gets the respin, no problem. Makes it look easy. Dang, I wish I could make that room look easy. But he's done. Heading on down to the room Reseren is in right now, as he is just about finishing them. He's going to be on his way now to the final puzzle room. The last Sector 2 puzzle room is a bit of a whopper. There's a fast strat for it, but it's definitely a bit more challenging. And if he goes for it and misses it, Reseren will in fact lose quite a few seconds. I know Destructor, to my memory, does always go for it, so we'll see how that goes for him. It's right on the other side of the... I just forgot the boss's name all of a sudden. Not Notori, not Yakuza, this is Zazabi! That's right, Zazabi. Zazabi as in Zazabi jumping way too much for its own good. It looks like Reseren is going to be going for... He's going for the difficult strat. He's got to take this charge all the way up the room, and then he's going to have to take a crouch and store the charge on crumble blocks, which is very, very tight. He's only got a few frames to do it. Shine Spark's too high and doesn't hit the slope. He's going to have to run along the bottom of the room an extra time here. Destructor can gain back quite a few seconds here if he can pull off the fast strat. So here we go, Destructor making his way up the room. Onto the final thing, can he get the right height? He's a bit high. He misses the slope as well. Oh no! So Destructor also having to get the back up here, run along the bottom to get the Shine Spark for this missile tank. So with that, both of them are done with the sector cleanup. They just have one item left on the main deck, but Reseren, quite a few seconds ahead at this point. It's going to take some serious trouble on the Sax or the Omega at this point. Reseren is at this point, it is very much Reseren's race to lose. My God, someone said it in chat earlier. I kind of didn't want to admit to it, but I can't believe this race has more or less been decided by Yakuza, of all things. They've both been playing so close to each other, but Reseren's 1 cycle versus Destructor's 4 cycle caused such a big time deficit that it really did just kind of come down to that stupid hecking spider. Oh my God, I can't believe this. God, it tastes bad. Wow. Part of me wants to do the math after this is all said and done, but just Reseren has grabbed that final power bomb tank. Strictly speaking, we won't know for sure if he has 100% until we see his count at the end when he grabs the last core. But I've been watching. I've seen him grab everything. We good. And with that, Destructor has that last power bomb tank. Both of them are going to be resident sleepering it up here in the dialogue shortly. Like I said, it's not quite over yet. We just have to get through the last couple of bosses, and this is a really long dialogue. So Destructor can probably gain some seconds back on tech smashing. He's been mashing very, very well this race so far. It's one of his... I will say tech smashing is one of Destructor's strengths. He's very, very good at it. So I don't think it's going to be enough to close the gap completely, but it will certainly gain back a couple of seconds, I'd say. But I'm definitely curious to see where we stand leaving the Sax, though, because that's going to be what really decides what the Omega comes down to. My God, there's so much dialogue here. Why is there so much dialogue here? All right, Reseren, 3:17:14. First to make it out of that dialogue. Let's see where Destructor's at. Over 20 seconds behind. All right, Reseren, onto the Sax fight. He's got to keep the sacks frozen, otherwise the wave beam ain't going to do its magic. He's going to have to chain these charge shots and missiles diagonally through the sacks. Gets it, no problem. Real smooth first phase. Let's see, it goes for that second phase. 2 shots if he can time it right. First shot, fired up into its jumping. Gets it. Perfect sax fight. Now he has to get triple doubles here. We have a good setup, but still difficult. Diffusion missile doubles are no joke. Can he get triple doubles? No, not triples, but looks like, I think he may have gotten double doubles. He did. Double doubles from Reseren. Meanwhile, Destructor. First phase, no problem. Second phase looks good too. Can he get triple doubles here?
Propulsion sequence activated. Destination planet
And looks like Destructor. Oh, Destructor only getting, looks like Destructor getting single doubles, unfortunately. Oh, that's unfortunate. But both of them still having real strong sax fights, though. Getting through those first 2 phases, no problem. Into the final countdown. Yes, everybody go ahead and queue up that classic Europe song for yourself here, because I don't want to get this stream flagged. But it looks like Reseren is almost certainly going to be our winner here today, heading into the Omega fight. But first, let's see if he can get himself a low height Shine Spark. And nope, a little bit too high there. Into the final room and to the Omega. Here comes the biggest boy. Look at those hands going up in the air. It just wants a hug. Unfortunately, when you don't have hands so much as 2 claws on the end of a meat stick, all hugs are kind of terminal. Destructor also going for that low height a little bit late. Here we are. We're going to see if Reseren has 100%, judging by his item count, and yes. Reseren does have 100%, and he goes for the vertical quick kill setup, and he will be finished just as soon as Samus turns the screen and he loses control. And with that, Reseren is our winner here today with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 19 seconds. GG. My God, both of them were playing so clean, so well. It really did just come down to just the randomness of the game. Idors, Yakuza, Zazabi. God, this is going to sound really dumb, but I almost wish this race had been on easy mode so that the RNG would have been the same. If the randomness would have been the same, this would have been so close. Oh my God, they both played so well. And with that, Destructor is done with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 55 seconds. 36 seconds apart. Such a close race. GG to both of them. Let's see if either of them wants to come in here and say a few words. Gonna send them both a little DM, see if they want to pop in. I was real excited this one coming in, and I am glad I was here for it. Although, God, I'm gonna be mad about that Yakuza all for the rest of this day. I swear that was, oh God. This is the kind of race. This is the reason why I love these tournaments. Yeah, you sometimes wind up with some races that are a bit more lopsided, but ones like this where it's real close, or both of them are playing at such a similar level. Yes, that's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. That's the reason why I love these tournaments. All right, so while I'm waiting to hear back from Destructor and Reseren here, let us take a look-see at... Oh! Here he is now, Destructor, GG.
Hello.
Destructor, you played real well. That was... I swear this race literally came down to the game luck. I swear it did. You guys are both playing so close to each other.
If only that was luck, I would have not lost by 40 seconds, I think, to be honest. But thank you. I don't think I have any words for this run. Just for context, I was 1 second behind my PB.
It's what?
1 second behind my PB. Yes, you heard me well. So 1 second behind my PB with failing sack skip in the worst way possible, falling down in Ceres. What did I did a whole ton of stupid things through this entire run, but you know, no words. Whatever. This run was awful. Calling it.
No, but I will say this much, Dest. If an awful run is 1 second behind your PB, though, you're overdue for it, man. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, I just need a good cleanup. Actually, that's usually what killed my runs. But if there's one thing I have to say is that I underestimated Reseren way too much.
Reseren also played really, really well. I guess, like I said, there's going to be some, minor mistakes along the way and all that stuff. But both of you were generally playing real clean. At least from where I was sitting.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna drag him up here in a second. Reseren.
Hey, what's up?
GG.
Yeah,
GG, dude.
GG Destructor.
Hey, I gotta say, coming into this race, I was looking forward to this one. I thought it was gonna be real close, and it was close, seconds back and
Really?
forth, changing the lead for pretty much the entire race until Yakuza.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get a 4-round like usual, but it was a 1 round with I think 1 beam or 2 beams.
Yeah, you got real good luck there. And Destructor, unfortunately, you did not get good luck there. I was screaming in frustration. You're like, no.
I mean, outside of that, I don't think I can really complain about RNG. I got what? 1 roll, 9 jumps, 4 rounds, and beams. It was honestly beams were good, but I will not complain about RNG. With all the mistakes I did, it's slap me seriously.
No, Reseren, you were getting god doors there. I saw at least 2 or 3 times that the door was already open, with a weak spot open, while you were just running onto the screen. I'm just like, you didn't even have to wait. It was just already there.
Yeah, I think there were 3 of them.
Yeah.
So, until the very last eye door where I got a 4 beam.
4 beam on Ridley. That's dang. I can't remember the last time I've seen that. But no, seriously, y'all did a spectacular job. You kept it close. You kept it exciting. Just, I'm going to be I'm going to be salt at Yakuza for at least the rest of the day, because dang it was so close up until that fight.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it. I didn't really know how close it was up until right now. So.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of coming off an adrenaline high, so I need to kind of chill a little bit. Yeah, what's on both y'all's minds after that?
I didn't think that I would PB by 27 seconds.
Oh
yeah,
PB?
that's what I was wondering. It was like, if that's not your PB, dang. I'm just. Yes,
Yeah,
gross, dude.
I think it was just cleanup. Nothing went wrong at all. There was a couple movement mistakes, but other than that, everything went completely how I would want it to.
Well, dang. Congrats, Rez.
Yep.
Thanks.
If there's one thing I gotta say is that I underestimated you way too much. Way too much. I came to this tournament thinking that it would be a free 2nd place. I just knew that you were good and you were actually making good progress, but not at that point. So, I'm just looking forward to a rematch. I'll try to make better in losers finals, assuming you lose versus Scotty, but I guess I should throw assumptions out of the window first. So,
I mean, anything is possible. You never know.
Yeah,
I'll just try to do better next time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you're planning on rewatching that race, have fun watching my POV.
Trust me, near the beginning, I was feeling really bad about like everything. Everything was going so wrong with my movement.
Yeah,
Awful. I
I feel you.
lost how many seconds? I lost like almost 20 seconds just on Ridley split. So
Oh, yeah.
'cause I would have been 139 if I didn't like lose all my time to that.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually called it out because I saw that. I thought it was kind of clever. Like when you accidentally misfired the diffusion missile coming up heading toward Ridley. It's like it's faster just to leave the room and come back in than it is to wait for the diffusion to charge.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I could have definitely just gone back in, then recharged it, then gone back up, but I didn't think about that until now.
Actually, there's one thing I wanted to ask you. That something I saw you do in Sector 3 after the box fight. Traditionally, we always did the shine spark into that one block, but I saw you jump through the door and just drop down there and bomb it. Is that faster RTA with realigning the door?
Yeah, it's faster RTA, and I think it's faster in-game time too. I made a task of it, and it was always like half a second to a second faster with tasks to do it, to bomb it. Just because the door transition is really slow if you just run right through it. And the bomb radius is pretty generous. Like, you can have it quite a bit higher than the block and it still destroys it.
I never thought we'd be having this many revisions to routing and movement in 2020, but here we are. Shoot.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, the switch to
all of-
RTA definitely planned all those things, kinda.
like all of the strats that I was doing, I was like, like how could I make this faster RTA? Because there's a bunch of door transitions that are a lot faster if you go through them not running.
That's a lot of muscle memory to rewrite, though.
Yeah, it really is.
All right. Well, I'm pulling up the bracket here. Looks like with this heading into winners semifinals, Reseren, you are in fact facing off against C Scotty W, the #1 seed. So
Okay.
I wish you the best of luck with that.
Yeah,
And
well,
let's see.
that's all I need. Luck.
And Destructor, you're going to be facing off against the winner of Monkey and Boxmeister. So we will see how that happens. I don't think that race is scheduled yet. It doesn't look like.
If I recall correctly, I think Box forfeited, but I'm not sure if Monkey's willing to rematch with him on that since he was having problems with his GameCube.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Okay, so I guess we'll have to play the wait and see card on that one. All right, so unfortunately for everyone out there, we do not have any more races scheduled at the moment, but we do have several coming. We do, in fact, have now, obviously, Scotty versus Reseren. We also have, oh gosh, I still have to schedule my race. I have to face off against Lyncher Talo at some point. And then we'll see what happens with Monkey and Box. So keep your eyes peeled on the schedule directly below the stream, because once we do get those figured out, they will appear there, and you can figure out when to come and watch more Metroid Fusion 100%. Otherwise, that's everything I got. Any final thoughts from you two?
Just GG. That was pretty close overall.
Yeah,
I think.
GG. I hope that was at least entertaining enough.
Yeah, I had a good time.
I did not.
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. You definitely deserve that PB. You're insane, dude.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Well, once again, GG to the both of you. Everybody out there, if you haven't already done so, absolutely give the both of them a follow. You see them stream on the regular, showing off their amazing skills, and you definitely want to go. They're both good folks. Give them a follow. And that's everything I've got as well, though. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Crunchy Lex. Hello. I guess goodbye. And
Isn't it supposed
Hello.
to be hello at first? Did you say goodbye when you introduce yourself?
no, I just didn't introduce myself at all.
Oh, okay.
I'm very good at words.
All right.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
See you, everyone.
See you.